Everybody, let's see. Let's get ready. Exciting, huh? I was working on a secret project and you had no idea. Ha 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 ha. Excellent. How's everyone doing? Let's see. We got quite a few people here at the beginning. That's exciting. Look at that. Exciting times. Cool new stuff. Just some confirmation in the chat. There we go. Mr. Powers is here. Mr. Cole, thanks for popping on. Got my Weaver Space branded Yeti mug. You know, it'd be really cool. I want to get one of those eventually. When Stacks Pro ships and we're all making, the good times, I can get like a laser engraver and like laser engrave a Weaver Space logo on a cup. Dude, that'd be freaking sick. This is just a sticker, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Stacks Weavers in the house. Excellent. Arlen, thanks for popping on, bud. Tom, Martin, Rian, Mr. Odenhoven, thanks for popping on. Let's see. I don't even want to. I'm wondering how you pronounce your first name. I've always wanted to. I've seen your name around. I was curious. How do you pronounce it? Is it Yoop? I'm guessing. Yeah. Paul, thanks for popping on. 111 in the house from Stockton. Excellent. That's just a chuck over the next town over from me. I thought you guys were in Lodi, Kyle. I assume that's Kyle. Or is it the boss man? Okay. Anyway, sweet, let's get started. So, yeah, I've been working on a secret project for about 4 weeks. I've been working on it hard for about 4 weeks. We started it a while ago, but decided a few weeks ago that, hey, I need to get this out the door. And it's pretty much all I've been working on. And a lot of the stack updates I've been shipping lately was because, well, when I start building a website, I'm like, well, I need this to do this, and I need this to do that, and I make myself some updates, and you guys get the benefit of those updates too. I actually have 4 or 5 updates I have to ship this afternoon, to fix some stuff that I needed. So there we go. That's cool. So this new secret project. First off, first person to name the website in the chat gets a prize. I don't know. A clap. Well, okay, that doesn't already know. If you put the website in the chat and I know that you already know, not fair, okay? You know who I'm talking about. Okay, so, yeah, I've been working on a website, and it's for the entire Stacks community. It's not just for me. It's not just for Weaver Space. It's for everybody, okay? And, yeah, it's a place, as you know, Rapid Weaver had a marketplace. And for a while, a lot of the developers were on there, but never all of them, right? And so with Stacks, kind of branching off on its own this year, we need to make sure that it had a place where you can go and find all of the Stacks that are available, all the developers that are actually releasing add-ons for Stacks. So we wanted a place for you to go to find everything. I know you all love and go to Weaver Space and you check out what I got. I love that. I appreciate that. But yeah, I just thought it would be a great way to build a website for all developers. Help Isaiah out because I want him to focus on Stacks Pro, not on building a website, right? I'd rather him working on Stacks Pro for 4 weeks than spending 4 weeks working on a website for, to list out Stacks. So I figured, hey, I got the tools to do it. And let's show you it right now. Okay, let's go ahead and drum roll, please. If you didn't guess, it is madeforstacks.com. Okay, so here we are. We are on madeforstacks.com, and it is going to be the place moving forward, okay, to list all of the add-ons, whether or not currently we have stacks and project files listed. Eventually there'll be themes and maybe possibly templates and other types of categories, right? And what is awesome is check out this counter. This is a dynamic counter, by the way, and we are at 558 add-ons. And that's not even everything. Okay, there are some developers that haven't had the opportunity to add their things yet. And we are at 558 add-ons. Pretty mind-blowing, right? And yeah, the site is super simple, okay? Eventually, over time, it'll get better. And so if you have any feedback, let me know. I'm definitely open to feedback, okay? It is, yeah, just simply scroll down through the page, and you can scroll through 558 add-ons. Pretty crazy, right? I'm sure, especially right now, probably all of you are visiting madeforstacks.com, and you're all perusing it. So the server's probably getting taxed right now. But yeah, as you see, you can just it just keeps going. It just keeps going. So, and now I understand finding stacks in this manner, right? Just perusing. While this is interesting, we can kind of just scroll through and we see stacks from all developers out there. Okay. There are better ways to find things. So enter this little filter bar, right? So we can go ahead and select this and go, I want to see all projects, right? And now this will filter and show us all projects that are available. See, these are all project files available that you can peruse through. Okay. You can also sort by, let's go back to all. Yeah, let's do all. We can sort by developer, right? So if we go by developer, you can go like, let's say here's Weaverspace. Ta-da! You can see all of my stacks. Okay. You can go ahead and let's go like stacks Scott, which I know Scott's here. We can see all of his stuff. He actually announced a new Tablelet today. So there we go. You can check out Tablelet. He announced that this morning. Pretty slick. We can go up to Stacks Basecamp, right? Which is Chris. I know Chris is here. And you can see all of his fancy project files. And then we have a new designer in the house. Today. Okay, Stacks Weaver. He's got a little preview. I'm not sure when it's going to launch, but yeah, a little preview of a new stack. We have a new stack developer out there, Stacks Weaver. So Josh is going to take over the world. Okay. So yeah, pretty cool. You can go ahead and filter, and then obviously we also have by category. Okay, so you're like, okay, I want a blog CMS, and there you go. There's a bunch of stacks that are blogs or CMS sort of related. So if you see, we have feeds here, we have total CMS, there's microblog, poster, all kinds of stuff, right? Armadillo's there, CSV crud, total CMS, obviously, easy CMS, obviously. And guess what? Guess what powers this website? Boom, total CMS, baby. Okay, this is the current version of total CMS. So if you like how the functionality of this website is, guess what? You can do it right now. I built this with the current version of Total CMS. My original plans were to build this with Total CMS 3, which I'm working on, but we kind of felt we needed this like now, like yesterday. So I changed course and built this using the current version of Total CMS. So all of this is built with that, which is pretty cool. Okay, and obviously if you go into any product, you can go ahead and select a product, go into there, and you can see here's the product page. You can click through and it'll take you to the demo. So there's the demo, right? You go to the store page. There's a video button. Eventually I can probably, if there's a video, I'll probably embed it on this page, but for right now, we just click on the button. Okay. And then if you go to dev info, or you can click on the name here, you can actually go to that developer's page. There's a page for every single developer. We'll get into that in a little bit. Let's go back to the feeds page though. There you can even share it. Guess what? Opens the share sheet, and if you're in a supported browser, you can then share this with people or messages or email or whatever through a share sheet. So kind of cool. And if you didn't notice that, that's a Foundation 6 feature because this site's also built in Foundation 6. Okay. And then further down here, we have a Horizon stack here that is similar add-ons. So add-ons that are kind of like in a similar category. And then we have other add-ons by this developer, right? Which in this case is me. Okay. So yeah, pretty cool, right? I'm pretty happy with it. There's also these, if we go to the devs page, you can see all of the developers, right? So there's currently 30 developers added. Over time, I mean, some developers haven't taken the time to update their developer profile yet, right? So it is definitely a work in progress. But if we go into the developer page, as we saw when you click through on mine before, you can see this developer, the website link, there's support link, and then a grid of all of that developers' products. Okay, so pretty cool. Now, some developers here, while they're here, it's nice to have some of them listed. Not all of them have added their products yet. So like RW Pro Dev, Carl, if you're here, get on it. They haven't added any of their add-ons to the site yet, but I thought it was still good to list them because, hey, you know, you can still see that this person is there. You can actually go visit his website, and whatnot. So we do list all of the. Oops, clicked the wrong button. We do list all of the developers, okay, that we are aware of. If there's anyone missing, let me know. I'm happy to contact them. Again, this is for the community. It's for everybody. Okay, so CMS3 is still a thing. Yes, man, smart Alex in the chat room today. Smart Alex. So yeah, pretty cool. Is there any? Let me see if there's any questions. I saw Michelangelo's here. I see Michelangelo Multi-Themes is here. He is, yeah, awesome. He was a huge proponent on rallying the troops to help out. So check out his stuff. Yeah, he's even got a space on the Weaver Space community. So check out his space on the Weaver Space community as well. Michelangelo, thanks for popping on. He's got a lot of really quality stuff here. I really like his stuff. The hype titles, Animask. He's got some really like eye-catching stuff, and a lot of it works really great with Foundation 6. So make sure you check out Michelangelo's stuff. Okay, it is the Sistine Chapel of Stacks. Boom. Okay. No charge for using that line, Michelangelo. By the way, just go ahead, use it. Okay, let's see. Did I miss any? And yes, some of you have noticed there are a couple little Easter eggs in here from some developers have slipped little Easter eggs. So yeah, go ahead and find those Easter eggs. There are a couple in there. I did show you one. I probably should have let you discover some of them, but search. Thank you, Scott. There is the ability to search as well. So up at the top right corner, there is search, and you can search for search. Right? Oh, look, there we go. There's a bunch of search. Okay, search is actually a category as well. Wow, there are a lot more search stacks than I expected. Pretty cool, right? I mean, so yeah, so you can just go ahead and click the search. There's also, if you ever filter or do a search, you can easily clear the search, any of the filters just by clicking this button there. It'll clear your search for you. So yeah, and that's true if you go by any of the categories, right? So like if you go to framework, there's all the various frameworks that are out there, including my starter pack, Foundation, Foundry, so on and so forth, right? So there's all the available frameworks that are there. You can click on the clear filter button and boom, takes you back. Now, another thing is just kind of, at least for now, maybe eventually this will change. Since we're just launching, there is no sort order here, okay? It's not sorted by recently updated or anything like that. It is just random. If I just reload this page, the order of the stacks that show up is completely random. So, it's not people who ship the most updates. Is, no one can game the system, basically. It's just random. Even for me, my stacks could show up at the top, or they could show up way down at number 558. It is random, okay? So, yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I figure that was just a great way for maybe you can discover some stuff that didn't know existed before, right? So yeah, I thought random was an interesting feature to kind of get all the developers kind of at an equal footing. Yeah, I'm really excited with how the site turned up. Speaking of how the site turned out, I don't know if he's here, Davide. So Foundation Box helped me come up with the initial design of this. So he put in quite a few days work of creating this mock-up and design. And then I continued to butcher it over the previous 4 weeks, right? So hopefully Davide, haven't had time to talk to you about the design much, but hopefully he likes some of the additions that I made. But yeah, the filter bar setting, how this is all laid out, he did a great job. It's super simplistic, and I think it's very effective. So good job on that design, Davide. And also just a big thank you. Dubox did all the artwork here. So the banner here, if you go to the devs page, you see instead of stacks, we have like little mannequin heads for developers. Pretty cool. Good stuff there. So he is a master at 3D art. I think he uses Cinema 4D, I believe. But yeah, and he whips this stuff up so quickly. It's mind-blowing. So he's super good at that stuff. So thanks, super thanks. And he created these little placeholder images with the black and white stack logos. Cool stuff. Very, very cool. I might try to team up with him. Maybe we can create some Stacks wallpaper, some Stacks Pro wallpaper. If you want to sport Stacks on your desktop, yeah, we could probably get that done. And maybe I'll have a goodies page here. We can like download some stuff. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know. Put it in the chat. Maybe I can talk to him. We can come up with something for you guys. Okay, something fun, some free artwork for you guys to download and represent Stacks. Okay. Excellent. Thanks for the tip on the search, guys. Yes, search is very good, and you can search for any term, right? So it will search the summaries and all the tags and stuff like that. So search is pretty good. There is a whole admin side to this thing yeah, I'm not really gonna dive into today. I don't think it's really fitting for me to unveil all of that. So yeah, it is pretty cool. Maybe eventually I can do something, but it's just run of the mill. If you're familiar with Total CMS, it is a Total CMS admin area, where I have 2 blogs, products, and developers, right? And manage those 2 separately. I then do some magic, some little bit of PHP code to link all those bad boys together. And Scott's your uncle. Okay. Who wants to see kind of how some of this stuff was built? I know it's probably going to be a short one today. Well, I say that all the time, and it never is. But yeah, the website is simple. You saw it all. It's out there. I know Isaiah is working on like all the various links to get more third-party stacks, throughout the Stacks ecosystem. He's going to redirect here, right? So Isaiah's fully backing this project as well. And he's totally on board with it, getting all add-on developers listed here to list all their products. And again, 558, that still blows my mind. I'd say my goal for launching today was 500, and I have to admit, I was like, man, can we get 500? Like I thought that was like a reach goal. It was like that was my reach goal. If we can get close to 500, that'd be pretty cool. Like 300 and something, that's amazing. But man, we knocked it out of the park. 558 add-ons, very cool. So all the developers that are watching right now, thank you for taking the time to help input a lot of this stuff. I know I did a CSV import thing, so it made it a little bit easier for you guys. But I appreciate that. So thank you very much. Okay. So roll on to Stacks. Let's go ahead and let's look at the project here. Why not? I do have to say the page speed scores for this site are pretty awesome. With basically almost zero work. I designed it and built it, and last night it was like 8 or 9 o'clock. I was like, I better like look at page speed. Like, I was dreading this. Is this gonna be horrible or what? And it was like, I think for performance, I got like a 96 and then like hundreds the rest. So it was 96, 100, 100, 100. So I was kind of blown away. Like I didn't even do anything special for it. It just happened like that. So, yeah, pretty cool. I'll see if we can get all hundreds up there eventually, but, I'm pretty happy with the 90s. Mobile, I will admit mobile performance was like 68 or something like that. So yeah, but I have plans. Some of the things that it was spitting out as warnings were like, man, so nitpicky, but there are things that will definitely get addressed in Stacks Pro and Foundation 6 Next. Okay. So there we go. Okay, here is the actual project file. This is the project file that that I used to build this exact website. As you see, I'm using probably a lot of the stacks you guys are using, right? SEO Helper. This is all submitted via Search Console, Google Search. So we have the site. We also have the sitemap stuff, right? So I have the sitemaps. I bringing in the blog sitemaps from Total CMS. Yeah, so it indexes all the developer pages. It indexes all of the add-on pages. And look how, I mean, there are 500 add-ons, 30 developers. That equals close to 600 pages on my website. And minus the admin area, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, not, sitemap isn't even a page, and the robots file isn't a page, right? So total, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 content pages. That's it. There are 6 content pages in my entire project for a website that contains over 600 web pages. Pretty slick, right? There is a support and about page. I'd admit I'm kind of still working on those. The about page is actually completely blank. Okay, so they're just gonna be, you know, about paragraphs or whatnot. Nothing really helpful, but yeah. So yeah, pretty slick, right? So the homepage is definitely, you know, the listing of add-ons. Here is, oh man, so let's see, how do we do this? I do have some. So if you noticed, okay, I think it was last week I shipped or was it this week? I don't know. Time blurs all together, right? Cool update to Foundation 6 where I have these. There's 2 new stacks, if preview and if publish, and those allow you to. They are inside the code area. So there's if publish and if preview, okay, and those allow you to what I needed them for. A lot of times, if you are a PHP guy, okay, you'll know that sometimes if you have a bit of PHP code, it will only work inside when it's published, right? What happens is in preview, that breaks your page in preview because, well, PHP, if it croaks, your entire page is bonkers, right? So yeah, I just created a quick little, this little bit of PHP injects the counter in the banner up here, okay? And so in preview, I just hard coded the count to be 443, which is actually the count that we were at a few days ago. And then when we are published, it actually does this little bit, that some PHP that goes into Total CMS and does the calculation for us dynamically. Okay, pretty slick. And so yeah, I needed these 2 stacks to do this because I was tired of not being able to preview my page because it was annoying because my PHP code was breaking it, because this bit of PHP only works on the published page, right? So there we go. Super useful. They are just drag and drop zones, so you can just, you know, drag whatever you want. So yeah, if published, you drag whatever. I originally built these for kind of code, but there isn't stopping you from adding something. I'm not sure the use case of adding a stack into here to only show a stack in preview, but yeah, it could work. Careful though, if you are using a stack that has a lot of JavaScript and whatnot, and if you put it as if preview, it could potentially break publish. So just be careful. If all of a sudden you put a stack inside a if preview stack and it breaks when you publish, well, yeah, that stack might not work inside the if preview or if publish stacks. So there we go. It's kind of the same rules as like if you're using agent or some of those other server-side visibility stacks, whether or not it'll work. Okay, so there we go. These don't use PHP, but they are, yeah, they will rip stuff out of the HTML. But this potentially the CSS and any JavaScript will still be published though. Okay, there's no control over that. But I plan to use them purely for code. Like, yeah, I actually, somewhere on the site, I actually use it for some JavaScript too. I had some JavaScript that I only wanted to run in publish. So yeah, I just chucked a JavaScript stack in there and boom, worked. It worked golden. So super useful little stacks, these if preview, if publish stacks. Okay. Went off on a little tangent there. Menu. So the menu, this is obviously a partial, right? So the menu is going to be the same across the entire site. So we have a partial. I am showing 2 different menus. Instead of trying to do the whole menu transform thing, I just have two menu stacks that I just show and hide based on mobile versus medium and large. Okay. So I have a drop down menu with a burger for mobile that will then show. There is a bug. I do know search on mobile. Sometimes the positioning of that little search dialog is funky on mobile. I'll fix that. If you notice that, yeah, it will get fixed. And then actually what's kind of cool is this little doohickey here. If you notice that when you click on this search, it kind of shows, it looks like it's like that magnifying glass is like, it just transforms into a button. It's kind of just some visual trickery because that is just a drop down that has a form with a text input and a button. And the button obviously uses the same exact SVG as the search icon that I put inside the menu. And so this is just the button. When you click on it, it launches a drop down. And then I position that drop down exactly to fit. So when you clicked on it, the button, the icon of the button aligns with the icon of the menu. So two different things. This is just an overlay. But yeah, some visual trickery there. But which works pretty good. I was actually really chuffed about that. I was like, that's pretty slick. So anyway, there we go. Okay. So that's how all that's done. If you look here, let's go up here. Here's the magnifying glass in the thing. All it does is open a drop down. It opens drop down search, and we go drop down, and here's my search drop down. Boom, and that's it, right? Now obviously I do have I remove the border on it, and then I position it, right? So I think I have a swatch to position that. Okay, actually no, I just do some offsets. So I position it to the left, and then I just move it over 60 pixels, and yeah, that did it for me. Pretty cool, right? So didn't even need a swatch. I thought that was pretty slick. I was pretty happy with myself. I was patting myself on the back for a little while there. But yeah. Okay, so that's the menu. Again, partials, because that menu is going to be used on every page, right? And then we have our, nothing fancy here. It's just a one column with a background image. I have an overlay on it because if we look on the live website, there's an overlay there because I want that text to kind of pop out, right? Then we have the filter bar. And yeah, the filter bar, you'll notice that it does use sticky. So I wanted to be able to, no matter where you are, be able to access that filter bar. Okay. And you also notice that once it's stuck, okay, the color changes so that you can, it's kind of eye catchy. Before it was just white and it was kind of hard to visualize, right? So we decided to make that kind of blue so that it kind of stood out from the page. You can still see it really well and interact with it no matter where you are on the page. Okay. And that transition is silky smooth. I do have to say, I spent a little while making sure that that transition was awesome, adding the proper transition swatches and stuff like that to make sure that that is just pretty darn smooth. There's no jumping around. A lot of times when stuff is sticky, depending on what margins or spacing you have, it can make the content kind of jump a little bit. So just being conscious of that is important. Maybe we could do a live stream on that. Okay. Basically, yeah. Let's see. Oh, here it's right here. So in order to get this stuck, okay, essentially I have the sticky stack, obviously. And then I have this container, okay? But also, if you notice this this filter bar, which I call the filter bar, it's overlaid on the column. So that has a negative margin top, okay? Negative top margin, which brings it up, right? So let's see. We have a negative, let's see. Oh, so here we go. Let's see, sticky container. Oh, I do it on the sticky container. That's right. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. If we really want to, I could do a live stream on how I made this particular sticky thing pretty smooth. Okay. essentially what we need to do is we need to target something called sticky container, okay? And then give that a negative top margin, not the filter bar, which is what I did at first. First, I was doing the filter bar, and then that kind of got funky. So yeah, sticky container is what we need to target to do that. So this is kind of a one-off thing where it's like I wanted something that had a negative top margin, but then making it sticky kind of, added some stickiness to the situation. So making that smooth by allowing both was a little tricky. It cost us a few swatches, but we got it done. Okay. All right, keep going down. So that's a sticky. That's all the filters. All these filters are done with, let's see, it is a Foundation 6 form. Okay. And then inside there's a select box. And then I basically use, let's see, for the categories, I'm using feeds actually. And then feeds just loops through all the blog categories or genres. It loops through the genres. And then basically creates the this select box with all the possible genres for every stack, right? And then in the developer, here I'm using, feeds again, okay? But for this last one, this category box, for some reason I'm using Total Loop instead of feeds. I forget what the reason was, but I'm using Total Loop, which is kind of like feeds, but it's baked into Total CMS, okay? I think I needed some of these other filters and whatnot, was helpful for that. So there we go. All right. So yeah, all these are Foundation 6 form with the get URL action, which passes the filters to the URL. And then Total CMS knows if you pass filter parameters to the URL, it'll automatically filter out the blog list. Pretty slick, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. Here's some agent if stuff. So that's, you remember how I showed you that clear filter, right? So basically, if I sort by any filter, okay, we'll see that I get this, but I only get this when a search parameter is there, right? So how do we know that? Okay, so here, if we look at the URL, it has a URL parameter, right? Category equals animation. So there's only a few different filter parameters that I expose to you. So basically, I just have this stack called agent if, which allows me to put some PHP if conditionals in there. So if any of these things are in the URL parameter, then I display this, else it ignores it and it doesn't display the clear filter. So that's kind of how we did that. We used agent on that one. And then if you notice, we also do, if there is a search, right? Let's search for agent. How about that? Okay. So it says search result for agent. So if you do a search, it actually creates this little header and it tells you what you searched for, right? So that's what this is for. So I use agent URL, which is another agent stack, and it searches for the search parameter. So if we ever have a search parameter, then display this contents, which is just a header, okay? And then inside there, I actually, I also use some PHP to put the search parameter itself into that header. Okay, you don't see it in edit mode unless you double click, then you can see the little PHP snippet that I have in there. Okay, boom, pretty slick. Then we get down to the blog list, right? And the blog list is obviously all of the add-ons. Okay, so this entire add-ons list. There's nothing extraordinary here. Okay, as I set it to be short stuff. The sort is set to shuffle. Man, that was a tongue twister for some reason. Okay. Obviously, I have my grid. I have the load more enabled, right? So it kind of dynamically loads. I did play around with the load count. I found the page performance was really great if I set it to like 25. But then, like, if we set it to 25, then it basically loaded 25 at a time. And sometimes that looked very clunky. So I kind of played around with this load count, and I thought 10 was a good medium. Another thing that I did was on desktop, you'll notice there's 3 across. So before I had 9, and I didn't like 9 because it would load 3 rows at a time. But I kind of like the more staggered look. So I did 10. So therefore it goes these 3 plus 1. And then the next 10, it goes all the way up to wherever it is. So it looks kind of broken up a little bit. And it looks less clunky. Loading 3, chunks at a time just didn't feel fluid. So by purposely picking a load count that offset my columns, I think was a better play on that. So that's a good little tip right there. I think that was something to think about when you're doing load mores with Total CMS. Okay. Another interesting thing that some people I know haven't used much are these layout rules inside of the blog list. So if you notice here, there are some stacks that don't have an icon. The developer hasn't added an icon here yet. So I wanted to have like a default icon. And so what I did was we use these layout rules to say, hey, if the image exists, then load the actual image from Total CMS. And I'm using a Foundation 6 picture stack instead of the Total CMS image. Both work. But the reason I used picture was actually because I wanted to define the sizing, because one of the errors that I knew was easy to fix from Google PageSpeed was defining the sizing of images. So I went ahead and used the picture stack, just used the little blog list macros, and then I created a custom alt tag for each image, and then I defined the sizing here. Okay. But then, so yeah, layout rule, if an image exists, use the thumbnail from the add-on, else use this default image. Boom, done. Right? Pretty good stuff there. Everything else is pretty rudimentary here. I don't think there's anything, anything huge here. And then we have our footer, which is a relatively boring footer of just some menus and links and whatnot. And of course, actually one thing interesting about the footer, let's go ahead and let's go to the developer page. Okay, now let's go to your head. Okay, so we notice here the content of the web page is very small, right? There's no content here, and by default, this footer would start actually like right up here. But footers we expect to be at the bottom of the page, right? So let's show you another example. Actually, here, let's go to this page here. We'll just use it. We'll do it in preview because I can actually change the values. All right, let's make sure what my preview post is. Let's do your head. Okay. I'm going to do your head. And let's go ahead. I'm going to turn off a setting that I enabled. Let's set this to, don't let me forget that was 256. Okay, so we're going to set that to 0. This is a new setting that doesn't exist yet. It's one of the things I'm going to ship this afternoon. Okay. So let's go ahead and preview this page. Oh, wait, what? Oh, hold on. Let's go ahead and I'm going to delete this really quick. Let's just delete that. Okay. And then we're going to go back and save it. We're going to preview. What? Oh, I bet you it's freaking browser cache. What? Let's close that. Has to be browser cache. Love you, Safari. Love you so much. Hold on, I deleted that. Oh, hold on. All right, so what I'm going to do actually here is, oops, did I do the right thing? Yeah, I did. Can I Command Z that? Oh, very good. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to remove this out of target so that you can see what I'm doing here. All right, there we go. That's what I needed to do. All right, so I'm not using target. Okay, let's go ahead and preview this now. There we go. Okay, so normally our web page is going to have a lot of content, so our footer is going to show below. But in this case, our web page doesn't have a lot of content. And so what I need to do is I need to put this fixed, right? So we're going to go ahead and now you could use a position swatch, okay? And that would work with a few exceptions, okay? So let's go ahead and let's put that back. So that's now inside target. And I'm going to turn off this setting really quick, okay? So we have it in Target. Target set to fix it to the bottom of the browser. Let's go ahead and voila. So now it's fixed. And that looks great for this page, but let's go to a different page. Okay, let's look at Weaver Space right now. So now with Weaver Space, well, that's not good because like I don't want this footer always there. Okay, I only want it there on the short pages, right? So that's not cool. And not only that, like it covers some of the products. Like that's not cool. Okay. So what do we need? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back into the footer, and Target has some special features that I don't think anything else has it. Okay. You can't do this with the position swatch. Okay, so we're gonna do this thing target at browser greater than content. So what this says is your target is only going to do its job if the browser window is taller than the actual web page content. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And I'm going to set this to 0 because that's the default value. Okay. Now let's go ahead and preview this page again. Okay. So now on Weaver Space, okay, if I scroll down, it's all the way at the bottom, right? It's not fixed. But let's go ahead and now we need to test your head because that's the small page, right? Let's go ahead in the blog post and let's change this back to your head. Boom. Okay, so there we go. It's working. Okay, but let's test something else. Let's test AX1N. I think this was one. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now, how come it's not working here? Well, so this footer is quite tall, right? And because of it's true, the content of this web page is actually shorter than the height of my browser. But when I fix the footer to the bottom, it's covering that content that's down there. So shoot, how are we going to overcome that? Okay. So I don't know if you've ever, now I've never had anyone come to me with this situation. So I needed to come up with a solution. So what I did was I added this new setting that we added here, that we see here inside of this advanced target setting. Okay. And basically I'm going to say 256. Okay. So I determined that the height of that little footer is 255 pixels, I think, or something like that. It was close. So I set it to 256. So basically, what that means is if the height of the browser minus 256 pixels is still taller than the content, then do its job. Okay, so let's go ahead and preview this page. And there we go. In this case, it did its job because the footer didn't become fixed. Okay, but so that fixed this page. Let's go ahead and test all the others again, right? This was my day for quite a bit yesterday. Let's go ahead and go to your head. Okay, preview that. Voila, works great on your head. Let's go ahead and go to Weaver Space just to look at a big one. And voila, works great on the Weaver Space page too. So pretty slick. That was the update. It'll come this afternoon. That's for the target stack. Again, it's all about if you want something fixed on the bottom under certain situations. Okay. So yeah, that's a kind of another edge case scenario where target is the bee's knees for that. Okay. But nothing really fancy else about the target or the footer. I guess one thing, if you are a developer, okay, go ahead and in the footer, okay, let's go to the live web page. In the footer, there is a list your add-ons. Okay, and if you click on that, there is a light box that comes up. You can fill this out, and it'll send me an email, and it's basically requesting access for an account here. Okay, so pretty cool. Okay, let's see. It would be nice to be able to search on newest. Yes, Mr. Cole. I agree. And that will come eventually. To be able to search for latest update and stuff like that. That will come eventually over time. Okay. Because right now this site doesn't keep track of every update to a stack. And I need to automate that for developers because requiring them to log in and register updates is just not a scalable solution. So it needs to be something that's automated. I have plans for that, but it probably won't happen soon, but it is in the plans. Hey, thanks for the feedback there. Adding a spot for connecting consultants. Adding a spot for connecting to consultants with stacks would be nice. Yes, I do have plans for connecting consultants as well, although it'll probably be on the Weaver Space community. I do plan on having that. I already have, if you notice, Chris Powers and Josh Stacksweaver. They both do consulting. So I definitely want to have a spot on the Weaver Space community for that so you can connect to those users. Okay. I don't know. I'll talk to Isaiah. Maybe it makes sense here. But I definitely will have it on the community, on the Weaver Space community. Okay. Thanks for that. Who said that? Chuck. Thanks, Chuck, for that comment. Okay. Yes, Martin, you noticed that the search is off on the iPhone. Yep, I said that earlier. I'm aware of that. It's one of the things I need to fix. I'll definitely fix that. Okay. Oh, we were giving a tour. Okay. I think we've pretty much covered a lot of the magic a lot of it's pretty simple. I do the same thing on the developer. I do a count of the developers and I inject that inside the header. If you see here is a little PHP count right there. And then I just have the traditional blog list. It's actually the same exact blog list that's on the add-ons page. I was just being lazy, so I used the same exact layout. And then we have the footer, right? So same stuff there. The developer page, again, very simple. It actually uses the same layout as the add-ons page, okay? And I have the same kind of if the layout rule stuff. So if the developer has an icon, or if it doesn't have an icon, display the default, else display the image that they've uploaded, right? I use different buttons. These are all basically the columns of buttons. Let's go to here. So here's the columns of buttons. Let's go to a developer that actually has a little bit of content. Yeah, let's look at Stacksweaver. Why not? Okay. So here, Josh added some content, right? We have the links up here, website, support URL, share button, developer name, kind of a little tagline, and then, kind of a space where the developer can put their pitch for them, I guess, right? Or their information about them. And then, obviously the listing of all their add-ons here as well. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty run-of-the-mill layout. It's just standard total CMS blog layout, really. Use some macros and there. Nothing super fancy. Same thing here. I injected, add-ons by Stacksweaver. I just do add-ons by, and then the title of the blog post, right? Which in this case is a developer. Okay. And then the blog list that basically gets the developer. I do a little bit of trickery here where I filter by the author, and in the author field, I use the blog post permalink, which is the permalink of the developer, which is the author of the add-ons, right? So there we go. Okay. A little bit of magic there. This is using a PHP variable. It's not something I would probably expect most people to know. You cannot use macros here, but this little PHP trickery is there. So you can kind of dynamically filter this by this, right? Pretty cool. And the add-on page is pretty much identical to the developer one. The only difference is I have a photos for the gallery, for the screenshot gallery. Another thing I should mention. Okay, if we go to, I don't know if there's screenshots in here. Is there screenshots? No, there isn't. Let's pick one of mine. I think I have more. Here, let's go to match height. All right. So I only display 4 screenshots here, but if you go into them, I only have 4 for this particular one. If there are more, there actually shows more. I have some, some add-ons have 10 screenshots. Only 4 will display just from a design perspective. If you click on them, then you can actually potentially have more than 4. Okay, there we go. And also, I should note that all of this has social sharing built in. So if I were to share this URL somewhere, it will share the actual information like match height by Weaverspace. It'll give the little tagline, and then it'll actually use the very first screenshot as the sharing image. Okay, so tip for any developers out there, the first image is the social sharing image. So in this case, if you notice for all my products, I don't think this is kind of last minute addition. I added all my social images. I have a social image for every stack. So I make sure that that's the first one, so that is used as a social sharing image. Okay, so there we go. And then let's see, further down the page, we have a similar add-on. So this is a Horizon stack that has a blog list inside of it. So it gets all of the similar add-ons. So basically what I do here is in the similar add-ons, we go to a blog list inside Horizon. In the blog list, basically, I just say display filter by the category and the category of this post. So what we'll do is it'll find the categories of match height, and it'll find other stacks that have similar categories. Okay, hopefully that should be helpful. And then if we go down to the second instance, I have filter other add-ons by, and then I do the developer name. And then here I do filter by author. So I'm filtering by the author, and it's getting the author from the post of this page, which is the add-on, right? So there we go. And so that's pretty much all the magic that I have for this web page. Pretty cool, right? I do have to say, I mean, this, if anything, okay, this website is a testament, I think, to Foundation 6 and Total CMS. I mean, this doesn't look like your traditional blog or CMS website, right? I mean, it's super cool. Let me go, hold on. Let's go ahead and really quick, I will. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen anymore, huh? That's good. Just for fun, just because why not? We will show off the admin area for two minutes. Okay. If you're curious, so this is kind of what it looks like in the background, in the back end of Made for Stacks, right? So if you have an account on here, and if I've generated an account for you and created one, you'll have a login, okay? And this is what you'll see. You'll see these 3 buttons here. You won't see any of the super admin stuff, which I won't go into today. It basically allows me to do some super admin stuff, okay? But as a developer, I log in and I can see all of my products. I can go ahead and click on every product, and it'll take you into the edit area for that, where I can, add images and edit content and all that stuff. I can go to my dev profile, and this is my profile information for my, my account. So obviously this is the Weaverspace account, right? And then I can add a new add-on, right? So if any of you have used the Foundation Box demo or project files, you'll probably recognize this this layout. I tweaked it a little bit, but yeah. And if there are any developers here, there's a cool little feature that I did add, and there's this little refresh button. If you ever needed to refresh kind of the data in this page, just click this little refresh, and there you go. Okay. So yeah, nice little back end, super slick, stylish, even though it's just a back end. So there we go. There's a little sneak back end. So yeah, super stoked with this website. I hope you guys enjoy it. It should give you guys, a lot of, or not a, it shouldn't give you, I mean, it allows you to find stuff easier, right? Allows you to find what add-ons are out there from someone you've never even knew existed before. Okay. Hopefully, I'm still going to reach out to the other developers on that list that haven't added their products yet. If you are in contact with any of them and you notice a developer that isn't here or doesn't have their add-ons listed, yeah, slip a message. Say, hey, I notice your stuff isn't on Made for Stacks. Go ahead and do that. We have a vast majority. As you saw, 558 add-ons. We have all of the bigger developers are there. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. And yeah, if you want any more questions, I might be able to give a little bit more sneak peek on some things during Friday's Hangout. If you want to hop on, I'm really happy with the website. It's very performant, it's stylish, and it's amazing that it's built with stacks. I'm a huge proponent of eating what you sow, right? And so if I'm going to make a website, it's going to be with stacks. It has to be, right? I can't build a website without stacks if that's what I'm selling, right? It doesn't make any sense. So I added some people, oh, what framework did you use to make this thing? What did you use, Laravel, or did you use Symfony, or, insert, web development framework here? And no, like, I use Total CMS and Foundation using stacks, right? And so just to let you guys know, you guys can build stuff like this too, right? This website did take me, Davide did design it, took a couple days. I'd say 4 weeks from beginning to end was about the total time commitment to build this website. I did work pretty hard. It was some late nights, just making sure, tweaking. It is amazing. Like, I thought it was done, and then you're just like, I'm going to tweak this little thing, and I'm going to tweak this little thing, and I'm going to tweak this. You could tweak stuff forever. I could probably work on this site for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? Just tweaking things here and there and having fun. And, but anyway, watch out for the updates I'm going to ship today with some of the stuff you saw. I have some other behind the scenes stuff, like, for example, Total CMS export. If you guys didn't know, it'll export to CSV. Like, drafts and drafts and archives never made it into the export. Like, as I was debugging and adding people's and importing people's stuff, I realized that. So it was kind of a mind opener. So that'll be fixed today. Thanks, Chris, for never telling me about that one, dude. What the heck? Sweet. Okay, guys, I won't talk your ear off anymore. I appreciate you popping on. I hope you had fun today. Hope you learned maybe some little tricks when I showed you behind the scenes. And hopefully I'll see you on the Weaver Space community and at the Hangout this Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye.